Vehicles were built with one goal in mind: transportation. And in most cases, that means moving people from A to B. We all know what a normal car, train, or plane looks like. And let's be honest, they're not exactly jaw-dropping. But then there are the exceptions. Some machines are built for raw speed, brute strength, or conquering landscapes where ordinary wheels would weep. These aren't just vehicles. They're monsters of motion, and you're about to see 15 of the most amazing and extreme machines the world has ever seen. And trust us, the number 7 spot will blow your brain. Let's begin with number 15, Unimog. Just look at that. This Mercedes brainchild doesn't need hype, it has decades of proof. Born in post-war Germany and refined through generations, it's what happens when engineering refuses to compromise. It's not about horsepower or luxury trim, it's about doing hard things in hard places. With its flexible frame, portal axles, and freakish articulation, the Unimog feels like it was built to bend the rules of terrain. Firefighters use it, armies rely on it, and explorers swear by it. It's equal parts mountain goat and mule, steady, reliable, and shockingly versatile. Need to plow snow off a cliffside road or haul tools through jungles? Well, it can do that, and very, very much more. The Unimog is a tool, not a toy, and that's where its charm lies. It's one of those machines that never boasts but always delivers. Even when rusted or worn, it refuses to quit. In the world of off-road extremes, the Unimog isn't the flashiest, but ask anyone who's driven one. Number 14, Avtaurus Shaman 8x8. There's nothing subtle about the Avtaurus Shaman 8x8. It's massive, loud, and looks like it belongs in a post-apocalyptic convoy. But its presence isn't just for drama. Every inch of it is engineered for unforgiving environments. 8 wheels with adjustable pressure systems, fully amphibious capability, and a crab steering mode that lets it move sideways like some kind of mechanical crustacean. It handles swamps, ice fields, and rocky cliffs, terrain where normal vehicles would sink, stall, or shatter. Inside, it can fit 9 people, complete with a central control chair that feels like it belongs in a sci-fi command center. There's no rush in this vehicle. It moves with confidence, not speed. But when it does move, nothing stands in its way. It's the kind of machine that doesn't pretend to be friendly. It's not here for the school run or shopping trips with your wife or girlfriend. The Shaman was built for just extremes, for places untouched by infrastructure. You don't drive it to show off. You drive this beast when failure isn't an option. Number 13, Sherp ATV. This thing doesn't glide. It clunks, it climbs, and it crashes through swamps like gravity's just a loose suggestion. Think of it as the mechanical version of a stubborn toddler, impossible to stop and hilarious to watch. Built in Ukraine and Russia, it was designed for total absurdity. Low-pressure balloon tires that inflate on the go, a diesel engine that purrs like a grumpy lawnmower, and a turning radius that's practically a pirouette. It doesn't care about comfort, speed, or looking beautiful. It just gets through everything. I can run on water, ice, mud, or any and everywhere the brave driver wants to take it. One look at this thing, and you know it wasn't meant for daily commutes. It's for the kind of terrain that looks like a rejected Survivor episode. Farmers, explorers, disaster responders. They've all found reasons to love it. It's not sleek, it's not fast. But the Sherp has one job: move forward no matter what. And it nails that job every single time. Number 12. Dodge Fargo 1940. Bigfoot. This is just insane. Rictus Erectus's ride is what happens when a pickup truck takes steroids and forgets what sanity looks like. It's a 1940 Dodge Fargo slapped on top of an Australian monster truck frame, and the team borrowed 2 real monster trucks, Shattered Silence and Stress Factor, to make it all happen. In the production files, it goes by the name Bigfoot, and it lives up to it. 2 actual Australian-built monster trucks, Shattered Silence and Stress Factor, were used for filming. One packed a 572 Chevrolet block engine and a turbo 400 transmission, running on petrol and topping out at 120 kilometers per hour. The Fargo's body was modified with an extended middle cab, stripped to bare metal, and fitted with a rear platform that seated three, one being a gunner handling either a flamethrower or harpoon gun behind plexiglass shields. It even had a roll cage in the back and tires standing over 5.5 feet tall. Chains and doll heads dangled at the rear, echoing Rictus's warped, childlike mind. After filming, the trucks were stripped and returned to their original monster show roles, though the stress factor frame didn't make it back in one piece. Number 11. Koenigsegg Gemera. Koenigsegg doesn't just build cars, they engineer revolutions. The Gemera, branded as the world's first Mega GT, broke new ground by being the first Koenigsegg with seating for four without sacrificing a single drop of absurd power. The early version paired a 2.0-liter twin-turbo three-cylinder engine with 3 electric motors and free valve tech, no camshafts, just electronically controlled valve timing. That alone produced 1,727 horsepower and 2,581 pounds of torque. It could rocket from 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 1.9 seconds with a top speed of 248 miles per hour. But things didn't stop there. Eventually, most buyers leaned toward the 5.0-liter twin-turbo V8 option, enhanced by an electric motor. Koenigsegg ran with that. The result? A combined output of 2,269 horsepower and 2,028 lb-ft of torque. It's not just jaw-dropping, it's mechanical madness refined. The Gemera isn't just about numbers though. It's a hypercar that lets you take 3 passengers along for a ride most of the world will never even see in motion. Number 10. Ripsaw EV2. When brothers Jeff and Mike Howe built the Ripsaw EV2, they weren't aiming for something normal. They were looking for a thrill. Originally cooked up as a military-grade tank, it didn't take long for them to realize this machine had more to offer than just battlefield grit. By 2015, after years of evolving from the RC-controlled EV1, the EV2 rolled out as a civilian luxury super tank. Yes, that's what they actually call it. Unlike any average tank, the EV2 doesn't carry weapons or wear armor like a badge, but what it lacks in military gear, it makes up for in raw, unfiltered performance. With a 60 miles per hour speed and seating for 2 in a fully leather-clad cockpit, it's like a sports car that grew up in a war zone. If you've got $300,000 burning a hole in your pocket and a taste for insane terrain, this is the kind of ride that makes everything else look like a Mario golf cart. Number 9. Lotus Esprit. Well, you've seen cars that can fly, but how about one that dives? The Lotus Esprit from The Spy Who Loved Me didn't just roll onto set, it dropped into the ocean and turned into a submarine. There is no CGI, just straight-up mechanical movie magic from 1977. The thing was real, sort of. It looked like it worked underwater, but behind the scenes, it was basically a prop in scuba gear. Then in 1989, some random guy bought a storage unit for $100 and found the damn thing inside. That same car later ended up in Elon Musk's collection, because of course it did. And Musk, being Musk, he swore he'd turn it into a legit working submarine. It never actually swam in real life, but if anyone's going to make James Bond tech real, it's probably the dude launching rockets for fun. Wet Nelly, still the coolest fake submarine car ever built. Now, we don't know why that kind of car or other amazing things can't find their way into our laps. Number 8. Extreme Hägglunds. Bill Freely from Roscoe, Montana, took the classic Hägglunds and decided it just wasn't good enough. So he tore it apart, rebuilt it, and turned it into something wild. Something that doesn't flinch at terrain. Most people wouldn't even walk on. The original vehicle already had impressive terrain handling thanks to its independently powered trailers, which push instead of drag. But Bill's version, known as the Extreme Hägglunds, goes way further. His personal builds have yanked trucks off cliffs, hauled stuck jeeps out of snowbanks, and splashed through streams like they weren't even there. These things aren't flashy, they're rugged, raw, and built for one thing: getting out of places no one else can. Bill even uploads videos to show off his custom rigs in action, proving they're more than just steel and treads. They're emergency machines for situations where normal isn't even in the conversation. What do you think about this beauty? Number 7. Torsus Praetorian. This isn't a tour bus. It's what you get when you fuse military DNA into a people mover. The Torsus Praetorian looks like it could drop off tourists one minute and roll into a conflict zone the next. Built on a man chassis with 4x4 off-road capability, it handles rough terrain like it's offended by the idea of roads. Think volcano rescue missions, frozen wilderness drop-offs, or ferrying scientists through the back end of nowhere. And the interior. Well, you won't believe it, but it's surprisingly clean. Not flashy, functional. You get reinforced seats, full insulation, heating, air conditioning, and armor options if things get dicey. It's also got nearly 400 horsepower under the hood, which makes it more aggressive than most passenger trucks. No, it's not fast, but it will get you there no matter where there is. Torsus didn't design this for the casual adventurer. This is for people who expect the road to disappear and don't plan to turn around when it does. Number 6. Le Tourneau Overland Train. The Le Tourneau TC497 Overland Train Mark II was never meant to win race contests. It was meant to survive the end of the world in a slow but good way. Built during the Cold War as a fail-safe if the railways were wiped out, this 550-foot-long behemoth was designed to haul massive cargo across terrain where normal trains couldn't dream of running. It could carry more than 400 tons, had trailer add-ons that held another 150 tons each, and stood 3 stories tall. Despite its amazing futuristic look, it was approved in 1962, making its sci-fi bulk even more mind-blowing. The project was eventually scrapped due to costs and logistical headaches, but the overland train avoided the scrapyard and now rests outside the Yuma Proving Ground Heritage Center. Today, it's more than a Cold War relic. It's a hulking symbol of an era where engineers planned for the unimaginable and built like the world depended on it. Wanna drive it? Number 5. Ripsaw EV3F1. Put a luxury sports car inside a tank shell and you've got something close to the Ripsaw EV3F1. Originally developed for military ops, this beast made the jump to civilian life without softening up. It's fast, unfairly fast for something that weighs this much and rides on tank tracks. You can hit speeds that make off-road feel like a racing game gone rogue. Inside, it looks like Bruce Wayne's side project, hand-stitched leather, a digital cockpit, and the kind of polish that makes other off-road vehicles feel prehistoric. But don't be fooled, this thing isn't just for flexing. It'll climb, crawl, blast, and plow through the wild like it owns the place. Suspension tech is so advanced that it feels like it hovers over chaos. It doesn't shake, rattle, or struggle, it dominates. And despite the futuristic edge, it's not some prototype showpiece, it's real and it's vicious. Just know once you're in it, everything else feels underwhelming. Alright guys, now, let's head over to Number Veer. Volvo C3. Well, let's be real. At first glance, the Volvo C303 doesn't look like much. It's worse, boxy, plain, almost invisible if you parked it next to flashier rigs. But that's exactly the point. Built in the 1970s for the Swedish military, it's a quiet workhorse that doesn't care about Instagram likes. This thing is shockingly competent in places where newer vehicles falter. Portal axles give it surprising ground clearance without looking oversized, and its tight turning radius means it can snake through dense terrain like it's built for it. It can take a beating and keep crawling, all while carrying troops, equipment, or whoever's lucky enough to be inside. There's no plush interior, no touchscreen, it's all function. The design's old school but weirdly timeless, with a squat shape that says "I don't quit" better than any slogan. These days, off-roaders hunt them down, not for looks but for the kind of quiet reliability that outlasts trends and outdrives expectations. Number 3. Darts Prombron Black Shark. This SUV does not care if it's overkill. The Darts Prombron Black Shark is more than armored, it's absurdly armored. Built by a Latvian company with a serious flair for intimidation, the Black Shark is wrapped in Kevlar titanium, has bulletproof everything, and even comes with shock door handles to keep out unwanted hands. Not dramatic enough? Try biometric locks, military-grade communication systems, and a smoke screen generator. The vibe is half luxury, half Cold War paranoia. Inside it feels like a high-end lounge, custom leather gold accents, champagne fridge, the works. But under the hood it's packing a V8 or even a V12, depending on how apocalyptic your commute is. Darts isn't trying to compete with other luxury SUVs, they're building for oligarchs, bodyguards, and people who expect to get shot at on the way to dinner. It's not sleek, it's not quiet. It's a rolling fortress that makes no apologies and refuses to blend in. Number 2. The Marauder. The Marauder didn't come from some billionaire's dream, it came straight off the battlefield. Designed by South African engineers for actual military missions, it was later trimmed down barely for civilian use. Trimmed might be a stretch, this thing still weighs over 10 tons and looks like it could drive through a building without flinching. Blast-proof, bulletproof, and built to survive mines. It's a survivalist's fantasy with 4 wheels and enough armor to shame a tank. Inside, it's oddly civil, leather seats, climate control, even a decent sound system. But the soul of the Marauder is in its defiance. It doesn't care about potholes, curbs, or terrain. It moves like it knows it belongs on Mars, not in traffic. And while it costs more than a luxury car, you're not buying status, you're buying sheer indestructibility. In a world full of fragile tech and flashy distractions, the Marauder is a brutal reminder of what it means to build something that just won't break. Number 1. Geo Rescue. The Geo Rescue doesn't tiptoe around emergencies, it steamrolls through them. Straight out of Romania, this beast was crafted for brutal rescue missions in places where paved roads don't exist. It's not some bloated concept car dressed up in mud. This thing actually works. Massive tires, water buoyancy, and an option to slap on snow tracks or even a firefighting water tank, it's not just ready for bad weather, it eats it for breakfast. In remote mountain villages or disaster zones when helicopters can't land and 4x4s are stuck spinning tires, the Geo gets through. It's wide enough to look like a parade float and tough enough to shrug off freezing storms, but the cabin still keeps it professional, enough room for medical staff, stretchers, and gear that saves lives. It's not a tank. It's not a truck. It's that rare machine that shows up when nothing else does its job, and doesn't wait around for applause. What do you think about this thing? Well, let us know. And with that, that's it for today. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see you in the next one.